And we're back. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final score. Today, we have something very special for you. Today, we will be making our NFL Week 1 predictions. I'm your host, Nicholas Marcinov. And today, I am joined by four awesome guys, some of my best friends who love the NFL just as much as I do. And we're going to go ahead and just do a brief introduction. So, Ben, why don't you kick us off?
What's up, guys? I'm Ben. 23. I'm a Pisces. My favorite food is pizza, and I'm in a closet. So if I'm a little dark right now, that's why. Go Vikings.
What up, everybody? My name's Tanner. 21. Living young. I do YouTube on the side, TSA Productions. You guys want to check out my channel? It's all about car stuff. But regardless of that, I love football. I've been a Patriots fan, so I already know half of you that are watching this video don't like me, but I don't really care. But go Pats. I still love Brady, but my love is Edelman. So
Very nice. Chris, DJ?
I'll let DJ go first, actually, because everybody knows me, Dolphins fan here.
There you go. Hey, what's up, guys? I'm DJ. I know that you guys are probably a big fan of me because I'm rocking that Raiders right here. I'm a little seasoned veteran in the age game. So hey, I'm excited to give you my picks because even as weird as the 2020 year kicked off, I'm still excited for a nice football season. So here we go.
All right. Chris, did you want to say anything, or are you good?
No, I'm good. Everybody already knows me from your Dodgers video and the
all 22 of them who tuned in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, so as a thank you, I told you guys that there was going to be a surprise for helping me do this series, and I wanted to wait until we were actually recording to do this. Now, we're all committed to doing weekly predictions, and I told you if you're not going to show up, to send me your predictions. Now, we're all in college for the most part, and I understand life gets in the way, so send me your predictions, because since it's going to be about 4 to 6 months for us to do these predictions, whoever has the best record by the end of the Super Bowl, I will purchase them personally a new NFL jersey from NFLshop.com. It could be whatever jersey you want. It could be a custom jersey. It could be for your mom, your dad, your uncle, your aunt. It doesn't even have to be for you, but I will buy you guys a jersey as a thank you. And whoever has the worst record in the our little predictions, they're going to get some hefty trash bags because they are straight up garbage. How does that sound?
This is news.
I do like the sound of a nice Henry Ruggs jersey to add to my collection. So I really appreciate that winnings for sure.
All right.
Yeah, I definitely
Or Nathan Peterman.
Nathan Peterman too. Hey, I'm all about the backup quarterback game. That's for sure.
Yeah, I definitely could use a different Dolphins jersey than my overly, worn out Dan Marino jersey.
Yeah.
More classic.
All right, so if we don't have any problems with the trophy, let's go ahead and get into these predictions with the Thursday night game, the one that's going to be happening tonight, the Texans and Chiefs. As we all know, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl against the 49ers. They won it 31-20. Chiefs went 12-4 last season. Texans went 10-6 last season. Patrick Mahomes signed a new massive deal, and so did Deshaun Watson. But Bill O'Brien, the head coach of the Texans, did something very stupid and traded away DeAndre Hopkins. Will this play a factor for Deshaun Watson? And my first pick, because I'm going to go ahead and kick it off, I think that is going to be a factor. And so I'm picking the Kansas City Chiefs. Chris, do you have anything to say to that?
Well, DeAndre Hopkins was actually really good, and I think he's a vital part for the offense in Texas. So I definitely have to go with, Kansas City Chiefs as well.
DJ?
As as my loyalty lies in the AFC West, I got to go with you guys for the reigning Super Bowl champs. They're loaded with talent, solid defense. It's going to be hard to pull that one out for the season opener for the Texans.
Yep. All right, Tanner, give us your pick.
So I think it's a pretty easy choice. You got arguably one of the best quarterbacks, not the best coach in terms to Belichick, but however, one of the better coaches in the NFL. So I got to go with the Chiefs too, because that's where I think it's going to be it might be a massacre. It might not be. I don't know. This whole offseason and everything with COVID has been very, very difficult for a lot of people. So we're going to see how it affects, this whole first week.
Yeah. Ben, wrap us up here. Is it going to be a clean sweep or what?
This was one where I was going back and forth on because the Chiefs are really good, but the Texans, they almost did it last year in the playoffs. I'm not going to lie, until they blew it. With that being said, I got to go Chiefs just because of Patrick Mahomes alone. He's incredible. Maybe the best quarterback we've ever seen.
That's fair. Yeah, the Texans were up 21-0 going into the second quarter, and they just decided to blow it. Okay, our next game, the Sunday games. First up, we'll talk about the Jets and Bills. And for this one, we're actually going to start with Tanner, but let me give you a little of a preface, Tanner. The Jets went 7-9, whereas the Bills made the playoffs at 10-6. They lost to the Texans in the wild card round, but they did acquire Stephon Diggs, who kind of forced his way out of Minnesota. And speaking of forcing their way out, Jamal Adams forced their way out of New York. Sam Darnold has a lot to prove this year. Do they get it done week one? Tanner?
I don't think the Jets are going to get it done week one. And that's kind of, I don't know. I've always been a little disappointed with the Jets. I mean, New England, everything's kind of close to each other, especially, New York. And the Giants are a very big disappointment. The Jets aren't that big as a disappointment, but I don't think they got it coming over the Bills, especially with the Bills record, last season. So I'm definitely, for me, my choice is definitely going to have to rock with the Bills.
Oh, man. Ben, please give Jets fans any sort of hope.
Sorry, I can't do that. Sam Darnold is going to come down with the chicken pox. Bills are taking this one.
That's terrible. That's terrible. But yes, I also completely agree. If Sam Darnold can just stop kissing women in New York, they might be able to do something. But I'm going Bills. Chris?
Sorry. They're just more shit to the pile. Sorry. But Bills.
DJ, please don't let another sweep happen.
I got to say on this one, you guys, as much as I love the defense for the Bills, I'm actually from San Clemente, and I got to support my main guy, Sam Darnold, who I know has been working his tail off this offseason. And, hey, you know what? This is my first upset of the week because I know the Bills are favored there. I'm going to go the New York Jets for a new blossoming season for a resurging Sam Darnold, that's for sure.
Wow. Okay. All right. I'm excited. I hope he does something good. All right. Moving on to game number 3. This is probably one of the bigger matchups of the weekend. Again, I think that this week 1, NFL front-loaded it because of COVID. They're not sure if they're going to get a full season, so they're front-loading these games. And Packers at Vikings is one of the big ones. The Packers went 13-3 for the number 2 seed in the NFC last season, and the Vikings went 10-6 for the second wild card. The Packers lost to the 49ers in the conference finals. They drafted Jordan Love instead of a wide receiver to help Aaron Rodgers. The Vikings lost to the 49ers in the divisional round, so they have that in common. And the Vikings lost a lot of key defense players, but they extended Zimmer and Cousins. Ben, your thoughts?
Okay, so being a Vikings fan and we're playing the Packers, I do have a lot of thoughts. I don't know how the Packers accidentally went 13-3 last season. So that's not going to happen again. Aaron Rodgers, they drafted his replacement, so he's playing with a chip on his shoulder. They didn't give him a lot of weapons during the draft. Yeah, the Vikings, they lost a lot of key players, a lot of team captains, but they drafted a lot of guys, and the news coming out of camp is they're playing really well. And I do believe in the Vikings. I do believe they're going to get it done. They do have a lot of weapons. They have a lot of trust in the organization. There's a lot of guys that have been together for a long time, and of course, I know the Vikings are gonna bring it and they're gonna win.
Awesome. Well, I too am going to be picking the Minnesota Vikings, just because one of my friends, shout out to Jimmy, he told me that if I don't pick the Vikings week 1, our friendship's over. So I don't want to end our friendship. So Vikings, I'm picking you for week number 1. Chris?
Well, just like your friend Jimmy, I got my friend Chad out there, who's a Vikings fan as well, and he said he wasn't having any of it if I chose the Packers to win. Plus, the Packers, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is kind of getting a little bit up in age, so I don't think he's going to really do that great this season. So I'm gonna have to give it to the Vikings too.
DJ, your pick.
I hate to go against the grain on this one, guys, but, for me, we've seen it for season after season. There's just something about Aaron Rodgers that he just, whether it's the last play of the game or it's just total domination, for some reason he just finds a way to get it done, especially with offensive-minded head coach Matt LaFleur. He's a great piece to the offense, and both minds going, one off the field seeing everything and then one on the field seeing everything. Even though Minnesota has a very, very stout defense, a lot of my favorite players on that defense that I like watching. I think it's going to be a tough one. I think it's going to be a close game, but I'm giving it to the Packers away on this one, week 1.
Nice. And Tanner, your rebuttal?
So I got to go with DJ. I really think the Packers are going to pull through and actually beat the Vikings. And it's kind of, here's my little background showing the Packers. But my thing is like, the Vikings are good and the Packers are good. Packers, they got Aaron Rodgers, very veteran quarterback. He is deadly. And I imagine he hasn't been getting hit at all in practice. He's going to be very healthy and good for this first game. Whereas, his elderly quarterbacks, not so much Brady though, because, he barely gets touched. But again, like, as long as he doesn't get tackled and he stays up, I think he's really going to dominate on the Vikings. It's going to be a close game though, but we'll see. Vikings are always kind of got that wild card about them. They lose sometimes in the fourth quarter like the Chargers do. It just kind of depends on the day. So I got to give it to the Packers.
Fair enough. All right, moving on to our next game. We have the Eagles against the newly named Washington football team. The Eagles, who went 9-7 and really fought hard to win the NFC East, came in the 4th seed, and the Washington football team went 3-13. The Eagles lost to the Seahawks in the wild card round, and over the offseason, scandal after scandal after scandal came out about the Washington football team. But in good news, Alex Smith is going to be making his comeback, but not as the starting QB. Chris, tell me something.
No, I just look at the name Washington football team, and it makes me laugh.
Go team.
Eagles.
DJ.
Oh, man. I got to say, I'm not a big fan of either of those teams or that division in general. However, I got to say the more veteran team is going to take that one, and I would say that would be the Eagles. Carson Wentz, he had a subpar season last season at best. Dwayne Haskins trying to get his feet under him for something, maybe a spark will fly. We shall see. But with that being said, I'm going to give it to the Eagles on this one.
All right. Tanner?
So my thing is, I think the Eagles are going to win. I mean, they come up, they won, they beat my boys in 2018 on the Super Bowl. A little heartbreaking, heart-wrenching on that. But I think the Eagles are going to win over the Washington football team. I was going to say the bleep word that I can't say anymore.
Yeah, we're not racist, man.
No, not at all. None of us are racist. But I mean, like, I forgot who said it. I think it was Dave from Barstool Sports said it about, and this is kind of has always stuck with me about the Eagles, is that they burned their city down when they won the Super Bowl, and it doesn't matter if you light trash on fire, it's still trash. So, but again, I still think they're gonna pull through over them.
Okay.
I like that.
I like that too. Ben, are you going to be rooting for the trash or the football team?
Yeah, so I have my own grief with the Eagles from that 2018 season, seeing as they had to stomp on the Vikings to get to the Super Bowl in the NFC Championship game. This was a tough one where I actually thought maybe Washington could somehow pull it out, but they are dealing with a lot of in-house issues. There's going to be a lot of distractions. I'm sure there's been distractions all of training camp. And who do they got? They got nobody right now. Honestly, they're garbage, so I'm picking the Eagles as much as it hurts.
Okay. I guess I'm last up, and, it's just same sort of stuff. The Washington football team just has too much going on. Now, I'm not a big fan of the Eagles because they don't really have much of an offense going into this season. Like playmakers, a lot of them are getting hurt. There's lots of question marks around Carson Wentz. But for this game, unless Dwayne Haskins improves, I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles to win it. And I almost picked in 6 games because I've been watching a lot of hockey. Next up, we have the Browns and Ravens. So the Browns went 6-10 in a season where they were the off-season favorites. They were the off-season champs. Everybody was ready to crown them. They got Odell Beckham Jr. in a Browns jersey. I'm sure he loved that. And then the Ravens went 14-2, won their division. They were the first overall seed in the AFC, and they lost to the Titans in the divisional round. Didn't even win a playoff game. The Browns got a new head coach in Kevin Stefanski, who they got from Minnesota. So it's going to be interesting what happens. One of Ravens' key offensive linemen, Marshawn Yanda, has retired. So will Lamar Jackson really get that run defense? DJ, your thoughts?
Oh, man, I love this matchup. A lot of people like to talk about the Madden cover. Whoever's on it is going to get the Madden curse. And honestly, I think it's going to be the opposite of that for our main man, Lamar Jackson. He won the MVP last year. He's not even satisfied with being the MVP of the league. He wants to be a Super Bowl champion, and not trying to knock on the Browns at all. I think they have a very promising future, but I don't think that it's going to start with week 1 against the Ravens. Lamar Jackson, this is a big day for him to come out, show his talents, and just run all around the field, make some plays happen. I hate to say it, but it's going to be a slaughter for a division rivalry game with the Ravens going over the top on the Browns for sure.
Yeah. It could be the reverse effect where the Browns won like 40-6 or something last season in week 2. Tanner, your pick.
So kind of, you look at both teams and 14-2 versus 6-10. I mean, if you just go off numbers, obviously you have a very high prediction of who's going to win versus not. And Lamar Jackson, that guy's deadly. I honestly think they shouldn't even have a running back on the team. They should just pay Lamar Jackson double just to act as the quarterback and the running backs. That's what he does. And you guys can probably already tell my prediction is. I'm going to get up, though, just so you can see it. But basically, this is kind of my way of saying if Baltimore's going to win or not. Oh, no. I lost the image, but I didn't because it's right here. All right, I'm going to get out of the frame here.
Baltimore rights?
So that's my kind of things. I didn't want to put a picture of the Ravens. Everybody puts a picture of the logo. of the team. They play the quarterback. I thought I'd make a difference. So I'd shout out the Ravens and the city at the same time. So there you go.
Okay. All right. So you're picking the Ravens.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. I was a little confused just because it's a right. So I was throwing
Yeah,
out.
it says Baltimore in it.
That's the fandom. Fandom rides for him.
Yeah. Ben, your pick, please.
Okay. So don't forget that last season, the Browns went to Baltimore and slapped them silly in the house. Now, they also got the new head coach, Kevin Stefanski, beautiful offensive mind, and they have a lot of weapons. Now, with that being said, the Browns, they haven't been able to build that chemistry, especially between Baker and Odell. And with the story that came out about Odell yesterday or the day before, he's going to be distracted. So with that said, I got to give it to the Ravens. Lamar, he's going to do a lot of running.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, the Ravens just look like a better team. Lamar Jackson has been very impressive, and I'm just worried about for me, I really think it's not a if, it's more of a when he gets injured to see what happens. And I don't ever want to speak ill on somebody, but just how many times he takes off and everything has me worried. But for this game, I have to pick the Ravens because I can't trust the Browns. Yes, they went in last season and slapped Baltimore silly in Baltimore, but the next time they met up, the Ravens really gave it back to them. And I have trouble with Baker Mayfield's maturity, a lot of in-house issues. So I can't pick the Browns right now. I'm going Ravens.
There you go.
Chris?
Well, as much as I like the team that the Browns have, if they had Johnny Manziel, I would have chose them. I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to go Ravens.
Brutal.
Maybe he'll come back to the CFL. We'll see.
Oh, yeah. He's banned in Canada, so only one place to go. Next up, we have the Colts and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Colts went 7-9, and the Jacksonville Jaguars went 6-10. But the Colts are getting a new QB in Phillip Rivers, so Jacoby Brissett no longer the starting QB. But he is going up against the man, the myth, the legend, Gardner Minshew, the real man, the guy who I want to be and my girlfriend wants. But Gardner Minshew, right now he's only mortal, right? He's going to lead a very weak team who got rid of Leonard Fournette. This team, they're not trying to win. I think that they are going to try and get Trevor Lawrence in the long run, but I don't understand because you already have Gardner Minshew. So my pick, just because I feel like they're the better organization, and with Phillip Rivers, they're definitely going to need a veteran under center. Give me the Colts for this week. Chris?
Well, this is going to be my first upset because I'm going with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know. Phillip Rivers, I like him, but it's going to take him and his 15 children to take on the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Sorry. DJ. Oh, please, DJ.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yeah. As much as I love your Jaguars pick, because just going back to that, I'm a big time Raiders fan. That I'm not the biggest Phillip Rivers fan. However, the Jaguars are on a completely rebuilding program. They've sent off every piece of awesome playmaking talent that they've had over the past recent seasons. So they're basically at a bare and bones standpoint at the moment. So whether it's Phillip Rivers at the helm or their third string QB, I think that the Colts get it done on Sunday for sure.
Yep. Tanner?
This one's interesting to me. You got the Jags and you got the Colts. And us, I imagine all of us are from the same place. We grew up Southern California, But I've been a Patriots fan since I've been like 9 years old. So negate that. I still love the Chargers, but the thing about Phillip Rivers is there's just something about him. He's got that magical. He makes you feel like, yeah, dude, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. And then the fourth quarter is a total letdown. And I don't know if that's just to do with it being down where they were in San Diego, and then now they're LA. Crazy stuff. But regardless, maybe a new location is gonna help not blow the fourth quarter anymore. So my prediction, I'm gonna run with the Colts.
Fair enough. Ben?
The Jaguars are playing with a team of ex-Chili's waiters and a mustache. I'm going with the Colts.
Brutal. So I just came up with this question right now, just really fast. Do you guys think that by Phillip Rivers moving to Indianapolis, this kind of just seals the deal on him never winning a Super Bowl ring?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta say, if he went to a little bit more of a loaded offensive system, that he might have a chance. But Colts are pretty middle of the pack right now. As much as I love some of the playmakers that they have on both sides of the ball, like T.Y. Hilton and then a guy like Darius Leonard and stuff. There's still a lot of rebuilding for that team. So it could be the end for a Super Bowl run, but hey, a promising season is a promising season,
Mm-hmm. Doesn't have to win to have a good career.
Yep.
All right, next game. Let me just go ahead and switch my background really quick. We have DJ's favorite team, the Raiders, going all the way to Carolina to take on the Panthers. Now, the Raiders, they started showing signs of life last season, going 7-9, whereas the Panthers, they struggled with 5-11. The Raiders are no longer from Oakland. They're now the Vegas Raiders, which isn't terrible. They get a nice new shiny stadium. It's beautiful. It's going to be one of the best stadiums in the league. I guarantee it. The Raiders also draft the college stud Henry Ruggs III as a wide receiver. Teddy Bridgewater is now going to be the new quarterback of the Panthers, and the Panthers used all of their draft picks on defense after Luke Kuechly surprisingly retired. DJ, give me a hot take for this game.
All right, I got you on this one, Nick, and I don't want to jump right into the Raiders, just because I don't want to sound completely biased right off the bat, So I will say, I really, really like Teddy Bridgewater. He came in last season, won 5 straight games after Drew Brees went down. Even before that, he was a leader for the Minnesota Vikings. He is a very promising quarterback, especially in the near future. He has a few weapons around him. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey is an absolute weapon. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. He can run, sideline to sideline and beat you with the speed. Whatever it is, he's got it. He's got what it takes to be an impactful player for that game. However, I do feel like the new energy of being in Las Vegas for the Raiders, Derek Carr kind of being with his back up against the wall to make or break season with some new young talent and also some good core players on the defensive side, that it will be a battle. But for me, I believe that it's going to be a little bit more in favor of the Raiders. They are young. There's about 7 second-year players that are starting and about 4 rookies that are starting. So, that in itself is pretty tough for a team to thrive off of. However, I know John Gruden's got these guys fired up, and I think come Sunday in Carolina, the Raiders are going to take care of business, especially with Derek Carr being hyped up for making a change for the Raiders.
Awesome. Also, DJ, isn't it right that every year you guys try to go to a Raiders game to celebrate your dad's birthday? And isn't your dad's birthday tonight?
Yeah. Actually it is. So today is my dad's birthday. Every season, my family and I, we go out to a game. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case for this season due to the COVID circumstances. So we always try to travel and go see a game. 2 years ago, we went to Nashville against to see Tennessee, see them play against Tennessee. We got the W there. And then last year, we got to go see the Raiders a little close to home playing against the Chargers, and that was a good time. So even though we didn't get to go to a game this year, we're gonna be having fun watching the games this Sunday. So I'm excited about that for sure. And thanks for bringing that up. It's pretty cool.
Of course, I wanted to just wish him a happy birthday.
Yeah, shout out to you, Dad. Woo.
Tanner, please, your pick.
So, coming up with these two, Raiders being 7-9, Panthers 5-11, and the Raiders moving, and they, like you said, the Raiders, they drafted Henry Ruggs III. But what's kind of interesting to me is that the Panthers used, like you said, all the draft picks on defense. So it's going to say, hey, how is this defensive game going to go against this new team, not necessarily a new team, but a new place and a new season. And it's kind of difficult for me to go back and forth. Like, again, Derek Carr, not a bad quarterback. I think he's actually pretty good and everything. But I think the Raiders are going to take it. And one note about the stadium, I drove by on my way to Vegas to where I live now in Idaho. It's nice, dude. You can see that thing for forever. South Las Vegas, North Las Vegas. I mean, if I went up in like a spaceship, I could probably see the stadium. It just reflects down from the earth with all the heat out there. So, but yeah, I got to give it up to the Raiders.
All right.
I appreciate that.
Love it. Ben, your pick, please.
The Panthers can't win on Christian McCaffrey alone. We saw that last season. Can all agree he's their number one weapon. They do have Teddy Bridgewater now, but Teddy, for most of his career, has either been injured or been riding as a backup. This is his chance to start, and I don't know how it's going to be. With that said, Derek Carr, he is playing with his back against the wall. There's been chatter season after season whether he's their quarterback or not. This is his chance to prove it. Because if not, they got the golden boy Nate Peterman standing right behind him to pick up the slack. But I'm going with the Raiders.
All right. I too am going with the Raiders. Now, the Panthers, they are a division rival of mine. I'm a big Saints fan. But this season, they used all of their draft picks on defense, and that tells me that they have a very young defense, especially since there wasn't any preseason games. So they only went up against people on their own team. They don't really get to experience the competitive field. So I think that this season, they're not going to make a statement, but come to or next year or the year after that, I think that's whenever the Panthers are going to be a problem. But for this week, give me the Raiders. Chris?
Well, I'm sorry to all my Raider fans out there, but I have to go Panthers. I like the way Teddy Bridgewater plays. Like you guys said, he went 5-0 last year as backup for Drew Brees. And I don't know. I don't know. It was a hard one for me on this one. I just had to go Panthers. I don't know why. I just, I'm sorry. Don't hate me.
It's okay. You just lost a friend.
We were almost 5-5 right there. But hey,
That's the way you earn that jersey.
That's true. That's true. We can't be biased, guys. We're going for a jersey.
Yep.
Next game, Bears and Lions. The Bears went 8-8 with questions at quarterback under Mitchell Trubisky. Lions went 3-12-1. The Lions gained Adrian Peterson, and I think they lost like 10 games where they went into the fourth quarter leading. So that tells me that the team is good, but they need to learn how to finish. This could also be Matt Patricia's last chance in Detroit. I feel like he's on a very short leash. And like I said previously, Mitchell Trubisky is going to be the starting quarterback. Behind him is Nick Foles. Now, just because I kind of want to explain it, the reason for this is most likely because Mitchell Trubisky, you can retreat from him because of the fan perspective. but you can't start with Nick Foles and retreat back to Mitchell Trubisky. It's only a one-way dance. But Chris, let's go ahead and start off with you. Who do you think's going to win it?
Well, with the Lions looking the way they did last year, I would have said the Bears, but if the Bears were to start Nick Foles over Turkey Boy, I'd like to call him Turkey Boy just because it looks like turkey. I think that the Bears would have won, but Matthew Stafford's looking kind of clean this year. He's looking kind of clean, so I have to give it up to the boys in blue in the Lions.
All right, fair enough. DJ.
I got to go with Chris on this one. I'm a huge Matt Stafford fan. I've seen like a ESPN film where the guy dislocated his shoulder and still toughed it out for fourth quarter and came back for a win a few years ago. And that guy just got a heart of an actual lion. You know what I'm saying? So I think the team rides behind him when he's feeling hot. So I'm going the Lions for sure on this one.
Nice. Tanner.
So, you kind of look at everything. You said the Lions, they got Adrian Peterson, you know what I mean? And, if I were to agree with Chris and David, I would say the Lions would win if they were playing kids that Adrian Peterson would hit with tree branches. But since they're not, I got to go with the Bears on this one.
Oh, my God, dude. I love your take so much.
It is what it is.
Ben, I want you to top this with your prediction, please.
I don't know how I'm going to top it. All I can say is that the Bears got a couple of clowns under center. Both of them are terrible, both Mitchell Trubisky and Nick Foles. Lions.
Did you just say Nick Foles?
Yeah, and I stand by it. So the Lions, they have Matt Stafford, and I do believe in Matt Stafford. I've been saying for a long time, the Lions are a division rival of mine. But the Lions have so much potential, and they play hard all game, and it's usually close to games that they were losing last season. But I think they get it done here. The Bears are having a lot of problems. Matt Nagy, he's also potentially up on the chopping block. I'm giving it to the Lions.
Fair enough. For me, I really don't care how many tight ends a team has. That's not going to improve the quarterback skills. Matthew Stafford, he wants a good chance. Matt Patricia is going to fight hard to keep his job. Give me the Lions week 1 over the Bears. Okay. And fair enough. Moving on to the Seahawks and Falcons. The Seahawks went 11-5 and were wild card number 1. The Falcons went 7-9. But let's not forget that they started off terrible, and then it was like the last couple of games, they just rattled off a major winning streak. The Seahawks, they gained Jamal Adams from New York, who's one of the best safeties in the game, and the Falcons decided it was a good idea to bring on Todd Gurley when we all know he has arthritis and he's not the same running back he was when the Rams went to the Super Bowl, or rather, just a couple of games prior to the Super Bowl. So Ben, what do you think?
Look, all right, the Battle of the Birds. Basically, all I can say is that the Falcons are the drunk uncle of the NFC South, and Seahawks are not a real bird. So I'm giving it to the Falcons. I just have a feeling that they will get it done. Matt Ryan's looking crisp lately.
Okay. All right. Well, fair enough. Unfortunately, I will have to disagree with you because it seems like the Falcons, they don't start off hot. They like to get their big losing streaks in first. And Russell Wilson, he's going to make sure the team wins. He puts the team on his back and just carries them to victory. So give me the Seahawks over the Falcons. Chris?
Well, as much as I hate the Seahawks and their fan base, I'm going to have to give it to them for week 1 because, I don't know, the Falcons, they just don't seem to get it done all that well, especially against a team like the Seahawks. The Seahawks, like you said, you got Russell Wilson carrying them on his back. And I like Russell Wilson as a quarterback, and that's the reason why I'm choosing Seahawks over the Falcons.
Nice. Stop hating on fan bases, man. Like, we want people to like us.
Sorry.
I don't like the Seahawks fan base either.
Ben!
Or the Packers while I'm at it.
DJ, save us. Give me your
Or
pick.
Eagles.
I mean, I think I'm with Ben when he says Packers.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna let the Seahawks slide on this one, because I don't know. I'm pulling for them in week 1. I got to say that.
Okay, so Seahawks.
So yeah, to add to it, Russell Wilson coming off one of his best seasons of his career. I know I keep on putting just the quarterback position on most of the leverage of who's going to win these games. But, also with that defense that they have, Bobby Wagner running the middle, and obviously the addition to Jamal Adams, everyone's going to be fired up. Russell Wilson has a bunch of weapons with him, DK Metcalf, Chris Carson, and like you said, the Falcons, they have a thing about starting off the season a little slow, and I think the Seahawks are going to start off a little fast, so that's my pick.
All right, Tanner, are you going to make the Seahawks fan base mad by attacking them as well?
I mean, I could if I wanted to. I don't need to say much anyways, but I mean, it's kind of like the same thing. You can say, oh, you could say every fan base is bad. Like, everybody hates everybody, but at the end of the day, we all love football. And kind of like what DJ was saying is like, the quarterback really runs the whole game, especially, he's the one that makes all the decisions, and the Falcons do start slow. And I mean, look, Seattle's been fired up all summer, bro. They've been out on the street corners, not necessarily, hyped up for the Seahawks, but they've been hyped up, fighting the police. So they've been ready to go all summer long. And, about the Seahawks, my favorite photo of them ever, as much as this photo is going to show that I don't think they're going to win, I think they are going to win, but here's my favorite photo of the Seahawks of all time. So
you're picking the Seahawks?
I'm picking the Seahawks. They've been ready to go.
Fair enough. They've been ready since Super Bowl 49.
Yeah, basically.
Niners fans aren't that great either.
Oh my God, Ben. Leave them alone. Okay, I'm just going to move on. Chargers at Bengals. So for this game, it's a little interesting. Both teams are going to be having new quarterbacks. The Chargers went 5-11 with Phillip Rivers. The Bengals went 2-14 with Andy Dalton. Tyrod Taylor has been named the Chargers starting QB, and Joe Burrow, who the Bengals drafted, the national champion Joe Burrow, will be the starting quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals. The Chargers are very weak outside of Keenan Allen when it comes to wide receivers, and the Bengals get A.J. Green back after he missed an entire season due to injury. Tanner, give me your pick.
It's very interesting. Bengals got Joe Burrow. Funny enough, I don't have my hair done right now because obviously it's late. I'm wearing a headset. I'm not gonna do my hair. But my barber actually cuts Joe Burrow's hair before he moved out. So kind of fun little story about that. Yeah, he's a good guy. I love him. Shout out to Real Barber Al. But basically, my thing though, you got 5-11 and 2-14, new quarterback each team. So it's kind of like very unpredictable. If you had to go just off of basically just the whole last season, 5-11, 2-14, I would say the Chargers, but I'm going to go off on a wild card. I'm probably going to be the only one that's going to say I think the Bengals are going to pull it out.
Okay. Did you have a little picture or no?
No, I didn't grab a picture for that one.
Fair enough. Ben, your pick.
So I might be a little biased, but I watched this season of Hard Knocks, and they did a good job in making the Chargers look good for, the weapons that they have. They are starting with Tyrod Taylor, so they're not putting the rookie in just quite yet. They did lose their star safety again for the whole season, James.
Derwin James.
With that being said, Derwin James, yeah. With that being said, I'm going to go with the Chargers just because now that the Bengals, they have all these pieces now, and on paper, it's starting to look good. We have yet to see anything in a real game. This is going to be a real test for them.
Well, for me, if you guys will remember last season, Kyler Murray, first overall pick, goes to the Cardinals, and week 1, he was getting his booty smacked by the Lions. And everybody during the game was like, oh, he was not ready for the major league level at all. But then he came back, and he started to show why he's so good. So I'm thinking something similar is going to happen to Joe Burrow, but instead of that game ending in a tie, I think that Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals are going to win, especially since he's a brand new quarterback. The Chargers won't have much on him besides what he did in college, but nothing at the professional level. And because there was no preseason, teams aren't going to know what to expect. And I think that is a perfect recipe for Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Chris, would you like to debate me on that?
I'm going to have to go with the Chargers just because, the Bengals are kind of the new Browns. They've got the worst record in the league. And, I like Joe Burrow, but I think the first game, it's going to be close. It's going to be very close. But I think the Bengals are going to lose just by either a touchdown or a field goal.
And that would still be impressive for his very first game. DJ.
I got to say, you could throw all the touchdowns you want in college, but going from winning a Heisman Trophy and going into the league, into the NFL, it's a whole different ballgame, man. So for Joe Burrow's first game, I don't think that's going to be his, step up to stardom in the league. The Chargers, even though they are my AFC West most hated rival, they have a pretty stout defense. And I know they lost Derwin James. I'm not going to talk much about their offense because for Joe Burrow, he has to get past that defense, and they have a phenomenal secondary even without Derwin James, and some beasts at the front line with Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa, who's Nick Bosa's older brother. So you know that those genetics are just up to par with Nick Bosa, who we saw was a monster last season. So with that being said, Joe Burrow is going to have a hard time getting into the end zone, and let alone getting past the 50-yard line with guys coming after him like that. So I'm going with the Chargers on this one. And you know what? This pick is for the jersey, all right? It's not for the podcast.
I love it. I love it. Also, guys, just so you're aware, because I am keeping track of time, I said I didn't want to do a 45-minute video, and I'm right. We're not doing a 45-minute video because we've been talking for 48 minutes already. So let's just try to – I know. We're just going to try and rattle off these last couple of games, maybe just a sentence as to why we're going to pick the teams. And I'm very sorry for those fan bases, but this is almost going to be an hour-long video. It's pretty long as it is. All right. So we good?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Ben, you'll be talking about the Cardinals and 49ers. Cardinals went 5-10-1. 49ers went 13-3, and they were the first in the NFC, lost the Super Bowl. The 49ers are also very injured right now. Did we talk about the Dolphins and Patriots, or did I just completely skip over that?
I think
You
we
skipped
over
it. I thought you might have.
We don't need to
taken it back.
discuss that. We already know the true winner of that game. We can just keep going on.
Well, we'll come back to it after 49ers and Cardinals. Okay, and the Cardinals gained a new weapon in Hopkins for their air raid. Ben, who do you have?
All right, so the Cardinals are all about the air raid, like you said. 49ers are all about ground and pound. But I'm going with the Cardinals on this one. I think they're going to get it done, and I might get some hate for this. I don't think Jimmy G is as good as everybody thinks. They do a lot of hand the ball off. Like, I'm sorry, but you don't trust this guy to throw the ball for most of the game. So I got to give it to Kyler Murray and the Cardinals.
All right. Well, I agree with the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals are going to win. Same sort of thing. Jimmy G has not impressed me. He did whenever he first came to the 49ers, but not lately. And I just think with DeAndre Hopkins, this is going to open up the field. And let's not forget about Larry Fitzgerald still being one of the best receivers of all time. Chris?
I'm going to go out on a whim and say 49ers for all my friends that are 49ers fans and my cousin.
Okay. DJ?
I drafted Kyler Murray for my first pick of a quarterback, so I'm taking him for the first week for my pick on this game prediction.
Tanner, I see the background already, and I'm ready to hear it.
So basically, I don't have really much to say, it comes to the Cardinals, 49ers. 49ers are going to win 13-3. Cardinals, Larry Fitzgerald, though, he's getting a little old, dog. And I wouldn't be so concerned if he was a quarterback, but this guy's a wide receiver, man. He's running up, touching other men that are like 22, 23, 24, and he's just getting beat on sometimes. So I'm not sure, but I'm going to say the 49ers. Also, I auto-drafted two of my teams this year for fantasy, and so they picked up some 49ers, so I got to go 49ers.
Fair enough. All right, Dolphins and Patriots. Chris, you'll be talking about this one. I'm sorry. The Dolphins went 5-11. Patriots went 12-4, third in the AFC. The Patriots lose Tom Brady, but they do gain Cam Newton. The Patriots also have the most players to opt out of the season due to the COVID awareness thing or the COVID option that teams gave the players. The Dolphins drafted Tua Tagovailoa, but they will start Ryan Fitzgerald instead. Chris, your pick.
It's Fitch Magic, Barry. It's Fitch Magic. I'm just kidding. Patriots. Look. Just to say it, if they were playing in Miami, I would have chosen the Dolphins because for whatever reason, the Dolphins like to beat on the Patriots in Miami, but they're playing in New England, so no chance.
Fair enough. DJ?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Patriots all the way. You could hold 8 more players, out for COVID, and I still don't think that Fitzmagic. You're gonna need a little bit more than just some Fitzmagic to beat the Patriots in this one. Okay,
Tanner.
Definitely with me. Brady's not here no more, unfortunately, behind me, with Robert Kraft, but still, you got brand new quarterback. I'm super excited for Cam to be on there. You got the best coach ever, arguably, in football right now to teach all these new guys coming in. They did have a lot of guys opt out, but Belichick's got them. He'll throw them on. They'll make it work. So.
All right, Ben.
Yeah, to piggyback off of the Belichick conversation, Tom Brady's gone, but they still have Belichick, who is arguably the greatest coach in history. And if worse comes to worse, he's just going to find a loophole in Section 4, subsection B, and win the game. I'm going Patriots.
Patriots, okay. I, too, am going to go Patriots. If the Dolphins pull the upset, I'll be very surprised. And maybe we'll get that, really cool Conor McGregor, Ryan Fitzmagic at the post-game interview. I would love that. But right now I can't bet against Bill Belichick. I think he was the backbone behind the Patriots. The next game is going to be the one that is very personal to me. It is the Buccaneers and Saints, again, with the NFL front-loading it. This is probably one of, if not the biggest game this week. The Buccaneers, who went 7-9 last season, take on the Saints, who went 13-3 with the third seed in the NFC. The Saints lost to the Vikings in the wild card round, but they gained Emmanuel Sanders to help out Michael Thomas, and they also gained Malcolm Jenkins for the defense. The Buccaneers gained a lot of offensive help in Tom Brady, Leonard Fournette, and the return of Gronk. But for me, the X factor of this game, and I may be a little biased because of my team being the Saints, but I have to go with the Saints. This is a veteran team going up against a newly formed team that's just coming together. Mike Evans is a game-time decision, and I'm going to take veterans because of the no preseason. This is a system they know. So give me the Saints to win this one. Chris.
I'm going to have to go with the Saints as well, just because, like you said, they're a veteran team. I think Drew Brees is going to kind of go off and, make a couple of throws to Emmanuel Sanders. And, they're going to beat Tom Brady because Tom Brady's new team, not a lot of chemistry there yet.
Yep. DJ.
I'm fired up for this game. I think it's going to be an absolute shootout, both powerhouse offenses. But I'm going to give this one to the Saints, especially because I got Michael Thomas running my number one slot in fantasy this season. So I'm hoping for a big game out of him and the Saints offense.
Love it. Tanner.
You already know what I'm going to say. You already know. I got to give it up to the Bucs, bro. Look how good he looks in his New Jersey. Blue's always going to be his color, but orange doesn't look bad on him. No homo on that. But, when you talking about veterans, though, I know you got Drew Brees, Saints, they've been playing together, the chemistry. But you got one of the most veteran quarterbacks sitting right behind me right here. And you also got Gronk, too. Even though he doesn't throw to Gronk that much, maybe we'll get an all-Brady Gronk throw game. That would be the best game of my life. However, I'm going to give it up to the Bucs just kind of on that. And this is going to be the most watched game of the entire of this week, maybe even the first couple weeks, maybe even the whole season. Who knows how crazy it's going to be. But I'm very excited, so I'm hoping the Bucs are going to pull it out.
If the Bucs just smack up my Saints this weekend, you're not invited next week. Ben.
Okay, so the Buccaneers, they have all these big names now, but I don't know how the chemistry is going to be. And until I see it, I got to go with the more confident, sturdy team in the Saints. Plus, Drew Brees, potentially his last season, so he's going to be trying to ball out.
That's true. I didn't even mention that. But moving on, this is very important. We're at 56 minutes. My goodness. I'm so sorry, but thank you guys so much for sticking around. And if anybody has been watching this up to this point, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. We all appreciate it. The Sunday night game, we finally arrived. The Cowboys take on the Los Angeles Rams in the new SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. The Cowboys went 8-8. They lost the division, which they should have won last season, and the Rams went 9-7, which with the new playoff rules would have been the 7th seed, but because it got implemented this season, they missed the playoffs. Dak Prescott did not get paid this offseason like a lot of people thought he would. There were also thoughts that he would sit out, but I guess he's going to play and trying to earn that money. They did retain Amari Cooper. They also got a new head coach in Mike McCarthy, and the Rams lost Brandon Cooks. And as of yesterday, they also lost Aqib Talib. Tanner, give me your pick.
All right. So here's the thing with the Cowboys. It's like every Thanksgiving, when you go to Thanksgiving, you're like, all right, I'm going to have some turkey, I'm going to have this. But then the inevitable, you're going to have to face that annoying aunt that's always asking you, oh, where's your girlfriend? Oh, where's your boyfriend? Whatever. It's the same thing with the Cowboys. You can't get away from them, and it's the thing you dread on Thanksgiving Day every time they play. So for me, I got to go with the Rams.
All right. Rams for Tanner. Ben, your pick?
So Cowboys got a lot of big names, especially since after the draft. Rams got a lot of big names too, but they've been playing like booty cheeks, so I'm going with Cowboys.
All right. Well, the Cowboys do have a lot to prove, but I think that just because it is the brand new stadium, and I love the storyline that the Cowboys were the first team that the Rams played whenever they moved back to LA, and the Rams won that game. I think it's going to happen again. Give me the Rams to win in the new stadium against the Cowboys for the first game. Chris.
I'm gonna have to go with the Cowgirls. Cowboys. Sorry.
It's okay. I like their cheerleaders.
I don't know the way. Like I agree with Ben. The last few seasons that the Rams have been playing, they've been not so good. Not so much when they were in the Super Bowl, but last year they weren't really the same Rams. But, yeah, I don't think that they're going to be all there this year, so I'm going to have to give it to the Cowboys.
All right. And DJ, wrap us up for Cowboy and Rams.
Even though I'm living in LA right now, I got to give it to the Cowboys. Dak wants to get paid. I think he's going to be slinging the rock. I know that the Rams got Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald holding that defense up, but I think it's going to take a little bit more than that to top off the offense for the Cowboys. So I'm going Cowboys on this one.
Okay, very good reasoning there. Our last two games, the Monday night games. First up, we have the Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the New York Giants. The Steelers went 8-8 without Ben Roethlisberger, who went out with a non-contact injury in the very first game against the Daniel Jones-led Giants, who went 4-12. Big Ben will make his return, is starting for the Steelers, and this is the second year of Daniel Jones, and hopefully after a year of play, he will be more used to the NFL environment, and we'll really see if the Giants can make a statement this season. But DJ, give me your pick.
I'm going to go with the Steelers on this one just to make it short and sweet. Daniel Jones coming into his second season, Saquon Barkley, ready to have a good season. But with Ben Roethlisberger back at the helm for the Steelers, I think that the team's going to rise up to the occasion on Monday night with the nation watching. With the nation watching for sure.
All right, Tanner.
I don't know if you guys saw that article ESPN put out, but they did a little interview with Ben Roethlisberger, and he said that he's going to be shaking like a leaf during the early portions of his game. That's a direct quote from him. I'm going to be shaking like a leaf. So it kind of makes me a little uneasy for him. But, I mean, then again, like I said earlier, the Giants have always been a major disappointment in every season. So I got to go with Steelers.
Okay, Ben, give me your pick.
I'm going with the Steelers. I don't trust Daniel Jones yet. They have Saquon Barkley, but I just have more faith in the Steelers team. Juju Smith-Schuster kind of got exposed last season, not being able to keep up with the number one spot. So I feel like he's been training a lot this offseason, and I think he's willing to come out and prove some people wrong.
Okay. For me, I am also going to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the simple fact about it is the Steelers' defense was incredible last season. That's what kept them with all of those games. And you get Big Ben back. Give me the Steelers. They are going to have a season this year. Chris.
I'm going to have to say the Steelers too, just because, the Giants do have something to prove, but it's just not going to be this year. It's just not going to be this year.
Okay. And we are finally at the last game of tonight. Guys, thank you again so much for joining me. Let's just go ahead and wrap this up. The final Monday night game is the Tennessee Titans and the Denver Broncos. The Tennessee Titans went 9-7 for the second wild card in the AFC. The Broncos started to show a little bit of improvement, going 7-9. The Titans need to prove that Ryan Tannehill is not a one-year wonder. He struggled a lot in Miami towards the end of his span there. So we need to see if he can do it again in Tennessee. The Broncos gained A.J. Bouye from the Texans, a great cornerback. Drew Lock also is looking to impress the second season. But in tragic news, the Denver Broncos lost Von Miller in the last play of the last practice. Oh, that's rough. Okay, so for me, I think I will have to go with the Tennessee Titans. They're just a little bit more exciting to me right now. They got Jadeveon Clowney. It's still going to be a fun game, and I am looking forward to this matchup. Chris.
I'm sorry for my boss, who is a Broncos fan, and he told me to pick the Broncos, but I'm going to have to go with the Titans just because I like Drew Lock, but I think the first game of the year is going to be kind of rough for him.
Okay. DJ.
I got to go with the Titans. They didn't lose much this offseason. They actually gained Jadeveon Clowney, an exciting football team to watch. I got to give it to the Titans on this one.
Okay, Tanner.
Piggy DJ, kind of same thing. The thing about the Titans that they lost Von Miller. They've lost more than they gained per se, but however, I was just reading this real quick on ESPN that they're talking with Vic Fangio, the Broncos head coach, and he says the whole team has to fill the void. So if they got the whole team to fill somebody that's just watching the back on the defense, it's going to be very, very interesting when Titans are throwing down basically all the way back in the defense and see, hey, no Von Miller there, I'm going to throw there all day, and they're just going to get, first down the whole game. So I got to go with Titans.
Okay. And Ben, to wrap us up for tonight, please, what is your prediction?
Oh, me? I'm going with the Titans. What? You think they're not going to do it? You could be right. Titans.
Love it. Thank you so much for the entertaining last pick, Ben. All right. Well, those are game picks. This season is going to be one for the ages, mostly because fans are not going to be there. There was no preseason. We don't know what to really expect because we don't have anything to go off of. Anything can happen. We could start off really slow with football, and then by the end of the season, everything should be fine. This is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Is there anything you guys want to say before we sign out?
I got one thing to say.
Raiders.
I'm going to be very sad that we don't have Peyton Manning to yell Omaha in an empty stadium.
Yep. DJ, you said go Raiders. Tanner?
Thanks for last thing for me. If you guys still watching the video, thank you. I know it's hella long than what we wanted to. This is the first time, so we're definitely going to cut it down. So if you're still staying, it's going to be great content. It's just going to be a lot shorter, so it's more manageable for you guys.
Yep. Ben, any last words?
Yeah, if anybody's still here, why are you here? You're doing something else.
Stop being mean to the fans.
Go Vikings!
And go Saints. All right, everybody. Well, thank you again. We really appreciate it. And that's the final score. Thank you and good night.